My work as an inspirational writer and speaker has kind of evolved in a very unpredictable path. I began my adult life working for PricewaterhouseCoopers as an auditor, then as a tax specialist, and I was in that career path for about 6 years and was just incredibly unfulfilled. I never, ever once in my life thought that I would be a teacher or even a writer, or certainly not a speaker, because it always terrified me. But for me, because I had discovered early on, by the time I was, say, 20 years old, the secrets to life, if you will, it was about applying these secrets to my life, about getting my groove on, about living in abundance, having lots of friends, international travel, et cetera, et cetera. So from the time that I quit Pricewaterhouse to today, there's been this incredible kind of metamorphosis that has led me to writing, speaking, teaching on life, dreams, and happiness. And now it's turned out that the best way I can live these truths to get my groove on is to teach it. I like that evolution because I didn't set out to, maybe not everybody will love this, but I didn't set out to save the world, or I didn't set out to make the world a better place, and I certainly was never, and still to this day, I'm not selfless. It's been my path, and my journey is about me and my value fulfillment, and that's one of my underlying messages. And that's what I hope to impart upon people, because it's kind of worked out that nothing thrills me more than writing, teaching, and speaking about these things. It's also become a career path. So while I'm being very selfishly fulfilled, and I think this is my message with regard to selfishness for all people, I'm able to reach and help the most people. And it's win-win, win-win, win all the way down. The inspiration for leveraging the universe and engaging the magic came in perhaps the months or perhaps the year or 2 years after my release of my very first audio program, Infinite Possibilities. And I realized there was just more that I could say to kind of connect the dots for people who were new to this kind of thinking. And moreover, there was more that I could say that would give people a specific idea of concrete action steps they can take. And not just action steps to take, but the overall philosophy behind those steps, so that they would understand how they can, perhaps, if you will, do the least to get the most. So how they could literally leverage the universe and engage the magic. And when we understand the steps that we're taking are for this purpose, in other words, we're not trying to hit the home run. We cannot hit the home run. Our brains are way too small to intellectually figure out all the serendipities and so-called coincidences that need to be pulled off to make a big dream come true. But people not knowing that, they stress out and carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. My message in leveraging the universe, as I refined it from Infinite Possibilities, is that by just doing what we can with what we've got from where we are, we thereby put ourselves in reach of life's magic. Then the universe hits the home run. The universe does the hard part if we know what to do on our side of the equation. And those steps that need to be taken on our side of the equation are very, very simple, very, very small. And when understood, we are then able to finally enjoy the journey that we always hear so much about, because we're no longer carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. The reason this is an audio-only program so far is just kind of the evolution of my work and my being able to reach people. Frankly, it's easier, many people might not know this, it's easier to self-produce an audio program than it is self-produce a book, for a lot of reasons. Technical, and some very simple ones. You don't have to cross every T and dot every I and think that all of your readers are going to be looking at your grammar. You're just talking, so you just go. And so because it was easier, and that's how I started as a self-produced, self-published writer and speaker, that was the simple reason that it became an audio program first. And I guess there's a second prong to the answer, and that is, by that point in my life or career, I was doing a lot of public speaking. I was invited to a lot of unity churches, Rotary clubs, some corporate events to kind of share my views on thoughts becoming things. And that speaking kind of all of a sudden turned into a self-proclaimed world tour, World Tour 1. Now I'm on my second one. But back in World Tour 1, I was visiting cities all over the planet, literally, speaking for simply 4 hours. That material was the subsequent material to Infinite Possibilities. It was the enhanced kind of insights on action steps. And so when World Tour 1 was finished, I had enough new material for a new product. And because I'd been speaking for 2 years, it was also logical to make it an audio recording. But the book will eventually follow. The title, Leveraging the Universe and Engaging the Magic, stems from me wanting to convey to listeners that there is an approach to life that does harness, literally harness life's magic, that engages the universe, that enables us to do the least to get the most. And so really and truly, when I look to what most listeners are trying to get out of my work, they want to know how to get their life flying, how to be soaring, how to enjoy the journey, how to live in abundance, how to find career or work fulfillment or improve relationships, health, etc. And the only way that anybody can do these things is if they engage life's magic. And of course, up until now in recorded history, we've been oblivious or blind to these metaphysical principles, such as the law of attraction, which I prefer to term as thoughts becoming things. And therefore, someone's success was contingent upon either luck or God. And I don't believe in either one of those in conventional terms. I do believe that there is a super almighty, magnificent, adoring, loving energy in the universe that we can harness. And that's really, I think, my definition of God in a real nutshell. But it's somewhat of an objective, benevolent force. And if we do certain things, it will, through principles, respond in a concrete, black and white way, not based on its mood, not based on whether or not we've suffered enough, not based on any other kind of point system or demerit system, which all of those concepts rob us of our power and make no sense if thought out. And so I wanted to approach the whole thing from the fact of the matter is we are all divine, that we are supernatural, that there are energies and forces that we have been throwing around our entire lives, but mindlessly. And by understanding that we actually have these powers when it comes to creating life changes or drawing abundance to ourselves or whatever it is we want, we can use these resources wisely, thereby leveraging the universe and engaging the magic. The action steps that I hope listeners will take after listening to the program are really pretty simple and basic. But when coupled with the philosophy behind why they're taking them, they become profoundly powerful. In fact, it's as powerful as a human being could possibly be. Action steps would include visualization. I give some guidelines on how to visualize, ideally or in a streamlined way, perhaps once a day. I would like people to become extremely aware of the things they're thinking and the things that they're saying, because these reveal where our underlying beliefs are. People will then, from listening to the audio program, have a way of installing new beliefs through thoughts, words, and deed without even understanding or recognizing what their old, invisible, limiting, self-sabotaging beliefs are. And then perhaps the last thing that I really hope to inspire people to do with this program is to take life much more lightly. Get the weight of the world off of your shoulders. Get out there and dance life's dance. In the workplace, in your home, dealing with other people in your social life, and be out there, be active, because when you understand the philosophies that I teach, you then realize that you being out in the world, knocking on a door or two, turning over a stone or two, is how the universe reaches you. And through your simple mortal steps, so to speak, whether it's joining Rotary or Toastmasters or networking, and combined with understanding the way life really works, you then increase exponentially the opportunities the universe has, life's magic has, in reaching you and catapulting you further than you ever imagined. Those are my steps. Those are the kind of things that people will get in a very specific way in leveraging the universe and engaging the magic.